I went and I was in the fortunate situation of actually surveying 270 suppliers of Sainsbury's about how they would see the relationship. So the results are very interesting. The first and the foremost important thing is that, yes, the more that these guys collaborated, the more they actually felt that they increased their performance. On the other side, it was also clear that trust played a very important role, and we absolutely confirmed that. We also felt to have a fit with each other was absolutely important. But the real funny thing was, the more that the suppliers to Sainsbury's said that they would collaborate, the more they felt inequitably treated. Now, for those people who don't know exactly what I mean with inequitably treated, basically means the more that they thought they were collaborating with their customer, with retailers, the more they felt that they were getting less out of the relationship than they actually thought. And this to me was a puzzle, because at the same time they actually said, heck, we're making more money. So, but the interesting thing about the Sainsbury's, because, and I'll get to the other punchline, I'll get into a second again. Now the interesting thing about the Sainsbury's is that they came out of that vicious circle. And there's some theory around how you actually do this. And there's a guy called Axelrod. He got the Nobel Prize. He actually investigated how wars start and how peace starts. And he tried to do this, and he said that the best way to actually get out of a vicious circle, sort of where everybody's sort of in a destructive circle, is by actually applying and deploying a strategy called tit for tat. Everybody's okay with tit for tat. It basically means what you do to me, I do to you. So the interesting thing is what actually found out is that even in wartime, there were situations when the parties would actually stop fighting, pause for a moment, have lunch, and then resume fighting. It was really interesting. And the way this evolved was that basically one guy made a leap of faith. So one guy basically, put up a white flag or something like this and said, and then the other people would say, yeah, well, we'll listen to him. So one guy actually broke the ice and did something positive. And Sainsbury did the same thing. After this survey that we did, they invested a lot of money and time into developing collaborative resources, collaborative networks, websites, relationships, assessments, all of these kind of things that actually make a huge deal of difference. Now, but let's go back to the question that I had before about fairness. Let's say I would come to you with a 100 Swiss franc bill or $100 bill. And I would say, you can keep it if you make him an offer that he does not refuse. So you understand? I give you $100, and you have to give him X amount of dollars. And if he accepts that offer, then both of you can keep it. How much would you offer him? You see, the interesting thing is, if I talk about equitable outcomes, if I talk to people, most of the people in our civilization, they will say 50-50 is fair. But what's fair? Fair could be 5. I give you 5. Do you give him 5? And if he says, I'm not going to take it, then he behaves irrational, because he could have had 5 and now he has 0. Coming back to the Sainsbury's story, it was very clear that actually the suppliers were very, very unhappy with Sainsbury's because they were making money. Yes, but they felt that Sainsbury's was making far more money. So if you come to these kind of situations where the suppliers are actually worried about how much they're getting from the pie, you have to really sit down and find out how all of these things align. Because there may be 50-50 is not necessarily what may be the future. Perhaps so far it was 70 for them, 30 for you. Perhaps now you're at 50-50, but it could very well be that later on it's going to be the other way around.